Hi, I'm Mike Moz, and this is the movie Talk to Me. A group of high schoolers throws a wild party where they mess around with a mysterious occult ritual. But what starts as a thrill turns into terror as they're soon haunted by horrifying spirits that don't want to let go. The movie opens with a guy named Cole looking for his brother Duckett at a house party. His search leads him to a locked bedroom where he finds Duckett scratched up and looking strung out like he's high on something heavy. Cole manages to get his brother out of the room, but as they move into the living room, the other partygoers watch them with an eerie fascination. Some even start recording with their phones. Out of nowhere, Duckett lunges at Cole. As Cole turns around, Duckett suddenly stabs his chest with a knife. Then, without hesitation, Duckett steps outside and plunges the blade into his own eye right in front of the horrified crowd. The story then shifts to a teenage girl named Mia. Mia is at a memorial gathering. It's been 2 years since her mother passed away. After everyone leaves, she quietly does the dishes in the kitchen. She gets interrupted by a phone call from Riley, the younger brother of her best friend Jade. Jade forgot to pick him up, so Mia heads out to get him. On the drive, Mia comes across a kangaroo lying on the road. It's been hit and is barely alive. Riley, sitting in the passenger seat, begs Mia to put the poor thing out of its misery. Mia gets back in the car, hesitates, and presses her foot on the gas, but at the last moment, she swerves around the dying animal, unable to go through with it. Later, Mia and Jade talk about Daniel, Jade's religious boyfriend, who, awkwardly, used to date Mia. They scroll through videos from a party thrown by Haley and Joss, showing guests acting bizarre and out of control. Once Jade's mom falls asleep, the girls sneak out of the house, taking Riley along with them. At the party, Mia's arrival isn't exactly welcomed. Her gloomy presence kills the vibe, and people start to distance themselves. She tries to strike up a conversation, but no one really responds. Then Daniel shows up, and shortly after, Joss and Haley announce it's time for the main event. Mia volunteers to go first. They sit her down at a table and strap her wrist with a belt to keep her steady. Haley gives a warning during the ritual. Timing is everything. Once Mia lets something in, they have to break the connection within 90 seconds. If they go past that, the spirit could stay inside. Haley places a candle on the table and sets down a plaster hand. The ritual begins. Following their lead, Mia grabs the hand and says the phrase, "Talk to me." Suddenly, her head snaps to the side, and sitting across the table, she sees a grotesquely disfigured person that no one else in the room can see. Terrified, Mia lets go of the hand, cutting the ritual short before it's finished. But with the pressure from everyone watching, she agrees to try again. She grabs the hand once more. A swollen, deformed ghost appears in front of her. Following the instructions, Mia says she lets it in. For a moment, she blacks out. When she comes to, her behavior is completely different, almost like she's high. She starts laughing uncontrollably, matching the laughter of the other teens. Then, with wide eyes, she points to a dark corner of the room as if someone or something is standing there. Mia's eyes turn pitch black, and her body starts contorting violently like she's possessed. Before the ritual ends, the spirit inside her turns to Riley and warns him. The ghost has chosen him as its next victim. Just as time runs out, Joss manages to wrest the plaster hand away from Mia, who keeps repeating the threat in a chilling voice. Later that night, Riley is too scared to sleep alone. He goes into his sister Jade's room, but she coldly tells him to leave. So Riley heads to the living room, where Mia is spending the night. She lets him lie next to her on the couch. Mia opens up about a recurring nightmare. She looks in the mirror and sees no reflection, like she doesn't even exist. She tells Riley that when the spirit was inside her, she was still aware of everything, but couldn't control any of it, like being a passenger in a moving car. Mia says her mom took too many sleeping pills by accident and didn't wake up. The next day, Jade makes plans with Haley to throw another party at her place as soon as her mom leaves. When Daniel stops by for a visit, Jade's mom quickly picks up on what's going on. She realizes her daughter's planning something and strictly forbids it, worried Riley might end up drinking or getting high. That evening, the teens gather at the house anyway. Joss shares a disturbing detail. The plaster hand supposedly contains the severed hand of a real medium, someone who could communicate with the dead. Daniel volunteers to be the first one to summon a spirit. The ritual quickly went off the rails. The spirit inside him acted in a way that made things awkward, more than anyone expected. When the tied-up teen fell off his chair, a dog quickly came over and started licking his face. Surprisingly, he leaned down and kissed the dog like he was caught off guard. Right on time, the others grabbed the plaster hand and blew out the candle, ending the ritual before it got worse. Daniel asked everyone to delete the videos, but they were laughing so hard they posted them online instead. To keep things calm, home. The group sent the dog outside. Then, one by one, they took turns calling spirits, trying to fill the emptiness they felt inside. Even Daniel, who had stepped back, came back to join. When Riley wanted to try, his sister said no. Mia asked if he could have at least 60 seconds, but Jade said no. In the end, they called her a party pooper, and Jade left upset. Mia took the chance to let Riley join for 60 seconds. Excited, Riley grabs the plaster hand and says, "Talk to me." At the last moment, he hesitates to continue, but Mia encourages him to go on. It turns out the spirit visiting them this time is Mia's mother. Through Riley, she asks her daughter for forgiveness. When the time is almost up, Mia begs to extend the session so she can speak with her mom. She even places her hand over the ritual plaster hand. Suddenly, something takes control of Riley's body. He crashes his forehead against the table, smashing his face and drawing blood. After throwing the hand aside, Riley starts clawing at his own eyes. The others rush to help him, but only end up pushing his chair against the wall. There, Riley pounds his head even harder against a shelf, breaking the fingers of his sister, who has come running upstairs to stop him, while the teens call an ambulance, trying to figure out how to explain what just happened to the police. A stunned Mia heads upstairs. Behind a door, she sees the silhouette of her mother, but it vanishes quickly. Soon after, the cops arrive along with the paramedics and begin questioning everyone who was there. Mia's father picks her up from the hospital, asking what happened and if any drugs were involved. In response, Mia accuses him of hiding the truth about her mother from her. Back in her bedroom, she pulls the plaster hand out of her bag and looks at it with mixed emotions. Later, Daniel and Mia visit Riley, who's still unresponsive in the hospital. Jade tells Mia she's better off not showing up there. Shortly after, Riley's mother comes out of the room and kicks Mia out, accusing her of drug abuse. Seeking comfort, Mia wanders through the quiet hospital hallways, glancing into rooms as she passes. In the reflection of a glass panel, she glimpses what looks like her mother's spirit, silently guiding her toward the restroom. Inside, behind one of the stall doors, she hears a desperate cry for help. Bursting in, Mia finds the stall completely empty. Shaken, she's soon spotted by Daniel, who offers to drive her home. On the way, Mia asks him to stay the night so she won't be alone. He hesitates, but agrees, making it clear that nothing romantic will happen. He's committed to Jade. They talk quietly about the supernatural events. Daniel believes the spirits can sense people's thoughts and use them to manipulate emotions. Mia suggests they test the idea, but Daniel refuses to get involved with summoning again. They remember the days they used to date, walking hand in hand, but Daniel keeps his distance, even when they lie down to sleep. That night, Mia has a strange dream about Daniel that slowly turns unsettling, shifting into a nightmare involving her mother. She wakes up suddenly, sensing a dark presence in the room. A shadowy figure slowly approaches. It's the ghost of a woman. The figure nears Daniel and reaches for his leg in a disturbing way. Horrified, Mia shouts and shakes him awake. Daniel comes to, confused and startled to find Mia acting strangely. Disturbed by what just happened, he quickly leaves. Alone and rattled, Mia decides to hold another spirit session by herself. She reaches out to her mother's spirit, and this time, something responds. Without breaking the connection, Mia falls asleep, held in the arms of the ghost, who whispers to her that Riley is in danger and needs to be saved. At the hospital, Riley briefly regains consciousness during a bath, but instead of speaking coherently, he starts smashing his head against the tiled wall, cracking the surface and spilling blood, which he then begins to lick up, ignoring his sister's screams. Shaken, Mia gathers the others who participated in the seance to talk about what's happening. She tells them she can now see spirits, and they have no hands. Joss admits that the guy he got the artifact from also started seeing spirits. His name was Duckett, the same guy who stabbed his own brother and then killed himself. After learning that his brother Cole survived, the group decides to track him down for answers, but Cole doesn't want to talk. He accuses them of using Duckett, who was already broken after their father died. Cole boards a bus, but the amateur mediums follow him. Jade pleads for help, and Cole finally says that, with time, the spirit inside will start to weaken. Mia suggests repeating the ritual this time, finishing it properly and blowing out the candle. Maybe it was breaking that rule that caused everything to spiral out of control. She, Jade, and Daniel head to the hospital, but once inside Riley's room, a complication comes up since he's in a coma. He can't say the words needed to complete the ritual, so Mia decides to summon Riley herself. Instead, a little girl appears to her. When Mia asks what's happening to the boy in the coma, the ghost agrees to show her. The spirit possesses Mia and shows her a horrifying vision Riley's soul, trapped and tortured in some kind of hell. Devastated, Mia returns home. There, her father is waiting to talk. He confesses that he kept a painful truth from her. Her mother took her own life and left a suicide note. He reads the letter aloud, but Mia refuses to believe it. She insists her mother told her it was an accident. Shaken, Mia retreats to her room to speak with her mother's ghost. Her mother's ghost warns her that evil spirits are pretending to be her father, trying to confuse her and hurt her the same way they did Riley. Suddenly, someone starts pounding on the door. Through her eyes, it's her father, but he looks twisted and mangled, like a monstrous spirit. The ghost lunges at Mia as she reaches for a pair of scissors. What she doesn't see is that her real father, sitting in the living room, hears the noise and comes to check on her. As he kneels beside his daughter lying on the floor, she stabs him in the neck with the scissors. At the hospital, Jade gets a call from Mia. Mia urges her to come right away. She says she's found a way to save Riley. Jade agrees, unaware it's a trap. Mia watches from the parking lot as Jade drives off, then makes her way into Riley's hospital room. There, she runs into his mother. The woman apologizes to Mia for accusing her of using drugs. Mia asks if she can have a moment alone with Riley. After the mother steps out, Mia looks back, and instead of Riley, she sees a charred, burned ghost in the hospital bed. Mocking her, the ghost tells Mia that Riley's soul belongs to them. Mia pulls out the scissors she had hidden in advance and raises them, but she can't bring herself to strike. Instead, she sees the bloodied kangaroo from earlier, the same one from the road standing in the hallway. Meanwhile, Jade arrives at Mia's house and finds her father wounded, clutching the gash in his neck. Panicked, she calls her mother to warn her about Mia. Riley's mom rushes to his hospital room, but it's empty. Back at the hospital, Jade returns just in time to see Mia pushing her brother in a wheelchair. Mia wheels Riley toward the nearby highway. She stops at the edge of the road, frozen, when she feels her mother's hands gently rest on her shoulders. Her mother tells her she's proud that Mia is saving the boy from an eternity of torment. But then she slips up, revealing that Riley will still belong to them forever. Mia's hands slowly release the wheelchair's handles. Cars on the highway swerve to avoid something that suddenly appeared and steer around Mia's body lying on the asphalt. She slowly rises, staring at the cars that have stopped nearby. On the side of the road, Jade sits holding Riley in her arms. Mia walks toward them, but suddenly finds herself in a hospital corridor. Bruised and battered from the fall, she stumbles past rooms, peeking inside each one, until she spots Jade sitting beside Riley, who now looks much better. Panicked, Mia runs after her father, but he disappears into an elevator just as the hallway lights flicker out, leaving her in total darkness. Then, in the pitch black, she notices a small light glowing in the distance and slowly begins to walk toward it. The source of the light is a candle on a table. In its flickering, nervous glow, she sees a hand reaching out. Mia takes the hand and suddenly finds herself sitting at a table during a party. Across from her, a man holds her hand tightly and, with a mix of fear and excitement, says, "I let you in," the same phrase she once spoke to the spirits. A look of realization washes over Mia's face, and then complete darkness swallows the screen.